I wouldn't say that out loud because like I like my job and didn't want to be fired.
I don't even remember how I cleaned that up. I blocked it out because it was so gross.
You just pelted your grandma with a bunch of adult toys. Like, how do you feel?
So one day I had a customer come in and she seemed pretty cool. She was fun. She was chewing on a big wad of bubblegum, that big, I'm not even kidding. I was helping her out. She tried on at least 30 to 40 pieces of clothing. And then I rang her up at the end because that's what you're supposed to do. And of course I had to go back to the fitting room after to clean up. I opened up the fitting room and the clothes were just all over the floor. Not even one piece of clothing was hung up. They were all over the floor. There were shoe prints on some of the pieces of clothing. There was foundation all over some of the pieces of clothing. It was a disaster. So I cleaned those up and I start hanging them up in the fitting room itself. And then I look at the ground again and I notice that big wad of bubble gum just stuck to the floor, surrounded in spit.
I worked in this gown boutique and I was like the go-to girl for pageant stuff because in total I probably competed for like 10 years. That's like 50 plus pageants. But I was also like not the stereotypical pageant girl. I didn't look like a Barbie unless I was all dolled up. When we would work in the store, you know, we would wear all black and be pretty modest. One day, this young woman walks in, maybe like 5 years older than me, and she tells us that she's competing in Miss Florida USA pageant. It was gonna be a fun experience, so I thought. I have never seen someone look so far down their nose at me, and I'm not short, so it takes a lot to look down your nose at me. I found out through talking with her that this was going to be her first big pageant. For some reason, she just felt like she just knew everything. I'm trying to help pick dresses for her, and everything I picked, there's a problem. It started to become less about the actual clothing and more about me and my taste, and anything I picked wouldn't be good enough. The attitude was reeking from a mile away. My boss pulled me over at one point and she's like, hey, wrap it up. She needs to go. She ended up walking out not getting anything because she just didn't want to work with me. Flash forward 2 weeks later, the reigning Miss Florida USA is having a really big party. I walk over to the reigning Miss Florida USA and I'm like, oh my gosh. She's like, oh my gosh, we hug. I look over and the city queen, local title holder that had been so shady and so rude and so obnoxious to little old me is over there with her mouth on the floor. Hello! She also didn't realize I was the reigning IJM Miss Florida teen. But the part that got like a little bit weird is then she like proceeded to add me on every social media platform I was on.
So back in high school, I used to work for a very special erotic gift store that's at a lot of malls. If you know, you know. What y'all don't know is everything bad that happens at the mall happens on the weekend. This particular weekend, I was covering a shift. We were having a sale on adult toys that weekend. I was working at the cash register as normal. One girl came in, I think she was about 21 years old, and she was with her grandmother. And she's like, can you help me pick out a vibrator? Because she didn't want her grandma to know. I wanted to know if she like needed me to be like a decoy or something, which I was willing to do. And she's like, oh, but she's blind, so it's fine. And I was like, okay, so why are you concerned? She started looking around, you know, she's like going through all the little packages and she spots like, honestly, it was like a really big one, like right at the top. Oh, okay. I was like, you know, I'll go get a ladder. I'll be right back. And she's like, oh, that's not necessary. She starts climbing the adult toys wall, like she's rock climbing or something. She kicks this shelf that's like near the very top. And tell me why they like come crashing down and like pelting the grandma. And I was just like, grandma reaches on the ground with her blind self and grabs one of the adult toys. He basically like turned it on, like no hesitation, like just turned it on and started like bzzz. The girl tried to play it off. She was like, oh, like, hey, we're in an electronics store. You know, you're gonna break something. And the grandma was like, don't lie to me. I know what this is. Me and your grandfather used to use these when he was alive. I'll take this one. You know, she's a little freak. We love that. The girl honestly looked like she wanted to puke or faint at that point, and I was just like, girl, I'm just here for my check.
I worked in a mom and pop boutique. It was like a pretty small but semi-luxurious kind of store. We had some really cool stuff. Literally in these fake Gucci sunglasses, this woman walks in and says, I've arrived. She was like yes, I want to try on all these dresses. Great, get that bag, get that commission. So we got 10 dresses for her and we gave it to her to try on. After coming out in the first dress, she was like, hey, can you take a picture for me real quick? And then that one picture became 2 pictures, which became 3 pictures, which became a 30-minute photo shoot for her in the dressing room. I asked her, hey, do you want to buy any of the dresses? And she goes, can I check the jewelry instead? I knew what she was doing at this point, so I talked to my manager. He came down and he was like, sorry miss, we're gonna ask you to leave. She threw a hissy fit. She was upset. She was like, this is horrible. I hate this establishment. Your workers suck. So I woke up the next morning and I checked my social media as always. Here tagged is the same girl, captioned, wow, I love this great sponsorship. Everyone treats me like a queen and I love it. Here you are treating me and my manager like crap, and then here you are on social media promoting love and unity and happiness. But you know what? It's okay, because her follower to like ratio was absolutely horrible and seemed like she had bots, so. Like, at the end of the day, retail workers are just like anyone else and they deserve at least respect.
There are a lot of customers who do forget that retail workers are also just human beings working.
We're all just trying to make a living out here, so why be rude and condescending and look down on someone who's just trying to earn their keep?
Y'all need to start being nicer to these people because they are doing a service for y'all and y'all don't need to be rude.